This is Jack Randall Earls, the man in the chair, and welcome to Conversations with Jack. Today we're talking with Vickie Parker, the director of our August production, the Tony Award-winning musical comedy, Something Rotten. Something Rotten will be on stage August 15th through 17th and August 21st through the 24th. Auditions are Sunday, June 9th at 3 p.m. and Monday, June 10th at 7 p.m. And the show is being sponsored by Biddles and Hurt and Hopkins Rector. Hi, Vickie. How are you?
Hi, Jack. I'm great. Thank you.
It's so great to see you. We're here to talk about Something Rotten. Not Something's Rotten. Something Rotten. Tell me, now I know you've been at Playhouse for a little bit. So when did you start?
I think probably this is my 57th year.
57th year. Okay.
But I'm only 60, so I started when I was 3.
Yeah, I started when I was 3 as well. Okay, so you've been associated with Putnam County Playhouse for some time.
Yeah, since 1967.
Yes, and I know your sister and your mother were,
Absolutely.
And also your son and your grandson now.
Yes.
So it's always
family
wonderful.
tradition.
Yes, it's a family tradition. It's always wonderful to see one of you come to auditions or read your name in the program directing a play. Now, tell me, you act, you direct, you sell popcorn. I mean, I don't think there's anything you don't do. I first met you as a director in 1981, and I was your assistant in Oklahoma. I was 3 and you were 4.
Right.
And tell me, what are some of the favorite shows that you've directed here at the Putnam County Playhouse?
It's funny that you mentioned Oklahoma. When I think about this, I think, okay, memorable is Oklahoma and Sound of Music on the Outside Stage.
Yes.
That cast on either of them, putting cowmen and farmers and nuns and kids in that little barn waiting to come on stage. Now I look back and go, I don't even know how I did that. I don't know how the cast did it. So those are so memorable. 42nd Street always sticks right out. That was a show that we started rehearsing in February with people that wanted to tap dance in the show. So that one, my gosh, that was a feat, and it was kind of scary to do it, and it worked.
Yes, yeah, it was great, and I think that you mentioned the cast and others, but it starts at the top. So I give all credit for what is on stage to the director. Either you told us to do it that way or you let us do it that way. So.
And it was a little of both. I should mention the most memorable is after the first Annie, where I had 1,000 little kids. And after the show, the final show, they all surrounded me and sang "I'd Do Anything for You." And I can hardly talk about it. That one topped it all.
Yes, I agree. It was every show has its own memory, and just the mention of it's strange that just the mention of a title will bring it all back. You won't think of it for a while, but the mention of a title will bring it all back. Well, let's come right up to date and tell me, what is Something Rotten about?
It's probably one of the funniest musicals I've ever seen. 2 young men in Elizabethan England want to write a play that is better than what Shakespeare is writing. They want to be the hit. They want to do a show that is much better. And what happens is Nostradamus looks into the future and suggests that they do a musical. I don't want to tell too much because I want people to laugh along with me. So, of course, no one's heard of a musical, but they do a musical, and the name of the musical is Omelet. Now, that being said, how can you go, how can it be any funnier? It is. Shakespeare is a character, the two boys, Nostradamus, it's Puritans. It has a little bit of everything in it. And the first time I saw it was in Fort Wayne. And as soon as that curtain came down, I turned to Shelley McFadden, who was next to me, or maybe you, I don't remember, and said, I want to do that. I really want to do
Yeah,
that.
I think we all felt that way.
It's a show-stopping show.
Yes, it is. So these two brothers are contemporaries of Shakespeare.
Yes,
And
they
so
are.
So he's getting all the glory, and they want just a little slab of it.
Just a little slab of it, and they're determined to outdo him.
That's something.
And I don't, maybe they do and maybe they don't.
Now, is there romantic interest for the brothers?
One of the brothers is married, and one of the brothers, fortunately or unfortunately, I don't want to give anything away, falls for a Puritan. And of course, at that time, the theater was very sinful. So the Puritan aspect does or does not go well.
Okay, yes, I can see how that could happen.
I don't think you can go wrong with tap dancing eggs.
Tap dancing eggs. Tap dancing eggs. So that's something to look forward to. Now, what should people expect when they come to your auditions, and how can they prepare?
As always, when we do musicals, we want to hear 16 measures of something sung if they are auditioning for a lead that solos.
16 measures.
No more than 16. Count them. But anyway, on the audition sheet, which is online now,
yes,
it lists who really does need to come prepared to sing alone. If they're auditioning for the ensemble, I will probably be auditioning them in small groups to sing Happy Birthday or something from the show that we teach them, just a short thing. And then they, of course, would be prepared to read for that particular character. I have asked on the audition sheet, which they will see, that they only audition for one character. It's very difficult, as well you know, for a director to look down and see they're auditioning for 4 different characters and they want to read 4 different things. And to be perfectly honest, those of us who have directed forever, you could read for Miss Muffet, and I can tell what we can do. So reading for one character doesn't mean they won't be put in another role, but we just need to see how they read.
yes.
We also will be asking about dance, and not everybody dances, so they may move and may walk, but there are no dances per se for the ensemble.
Okay, so there won't be any dance or movement at the auditions?
Only if they say they can tap, and we'll ask them to tap, or if they say if they've had dance experience, we may ask about that. Some of them may come to the stage and do some steps so Karen, one of the choreographers, can see how well they move. So
yes, you have Karen Sutherland and Deb Grammel in your choreography, so you're in good feet there.
I sure am. Sure am.
Now, the audition sheet that Vickie mentioned, if you go to www.putnamcountyplayhouse.com and click on the current season tab at the top, and then click on something rotten, go to show information. There is, you can download an audition sheet there. There are also audition sides that Vickie will be having you read. You can read those in advance of coming to rehearsal. And that's very helpful, very helpful. Now, do you have any age expectations for those who wish to audition for you?
I do. It needs to be adults or older teens. Unfortunately, there's no place for children. There's no place for young teens. We need people that are teenagers that can look like they're 20, 19, 18. So this one is more adult.
So it's certainly it sounds like people that have had at least a little experience may be something that
Right.
will be very helpful when they come
Absolutely.
to your auditions.
Absolutely.
Now, I know that Something Rotten is it's not a new show, but it is new out in the hinterlands,
Yes.
and most people haven't seen it, or they've seen it as we did in a community theater nearby. Now, is your version the one that people have seen before?
My version, the Putnam County Playhouse version, in keeping with our providing family entertainment.
Motto. Yes.
That's our motto. So there are some cuts of language. I think the thing that is not with in line with our motto is mostly language. And if anybody's seen it and seen it done per script, they know what I'm talking about. So in some cases, language is cut, and I can honestly say that it will be appropriate for our Putnam County Playhouse audience. Very appropriate. Mm-hmm. One of the adults who's read the play said, and I think it's very smart, it reminded him of a Disney movie. And if any of you have ever seen a Disney movie as an adult and taken a child, it's very funny. And the children laugh and the adults laugh because they take it a little differently than the children. And there are places in the play which the children will think are very funny, and the adults will see even more humor in it. That's the best I can say.
Yes, and I know that the publishers, the people who have the rights to the play, send along suggestions if you want to make those. If you want to make those changes in the script, it isn't just something that we suddenly decided.
No, not at all. I think the people that wrote the script understand that it will be out in the hinterland and that it is not appropriate for all community theaters or all. In fact, they're in the process now of working on a high school, junior high script. So we could take some of their suggestions, and some of them they were all very good, and use those suggestions as a basis for what we needed to do to make it appropriate for our group.
Well, and we certainly don't want to say that every page there had to be something changed on every page. No. It was just the odd word here and there.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, thank you for clearing that up.
Yes.
Now, do you think our audiences will like Something Rotten?
Gosh, I don't know how they can't. Honestly, and I know that's a really brave thing to say from a director's standpoint before she ever has a cast even, but it is so funny, and it is so full of show-stopping numbers. They just, when you see some of the big ensemble numbers, it's just Well, I was too much to bear. I
Yes.
just couldn't stand it.
It was wonderful, and,
Yeah.
and you really have to be, really have to be quick to pick up on all the references because they come left, right, and below the belt.
And that's interesting too, because if you know Shakespeare, you'll get a lot out of it. If you know musicals, all musicals, you'll get a lot out of it. If you don't know Shakespeare and you don't know anything about musicals, you're going to find it very funny, and you too will get much from it.
Okay. Well, thank you, Vickie, for coming in and talking to
Sure.
me. I loved it. So today we were talking with Vickie Parker about the Tony-winning musical Something Rotten. It'll be on stage August 15th through the 17th and August 21st through the 24th. Auditions are Saturday, June 9th at 3 p.m. and Monday, June 10th at 7 p.m. The show is being sponsored by Biddles and Hurt and Hopkins Rector. Thanks for joining me. See you next time.